Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessica. In today's video we are going to be mixing the primary colors of my Roman Szmal watercolor palette. If you haven't seen the previous video where I built my palette and swatched all these colors out, I definitely recommend watching that video first and then coming back here. I will be doing these color charts in my Cotty flat book, which I have been obsessed with. I really enjoy using this paper. And I have all my blues along the left side, and then I have my yellows and reds across the top that I pre-painted out. And then because I had so many blues, I did a whole spread for them. And on the next page, I did my reds and my yellows. I also swatched out all the colors on a separate spread again, just because the Cotty paper is so much different than Arches paper, which I swatched in the previous video. So this gives me a really good idea of granulation, and I just really enjoy swatching out these colors to have in this sketchbook. So let's get started mixing. So the first blue we are starting with is the Ultramarine Intense, and then I'm going to go across the page under each color. So what I do is I take a little sample of that same blue 4 times to mix with the 4 different yellows, and then I will go across. So the first yellow is Azo Yellow. Next one is Orlean Hue, and these two are pretty similar yellows. The third one is Nickel Tungsten Yellow, which I find makes really unique colors. And then the last one is the Quin Gold Hue, which you're going to see makes really nice olive colors, so you get quite a variety. Next is the row of Indanthrone Blue. And I'm trying my best here to get a 50-50 of each paint, but I'm not perfect, so some are going to lean a little more blue and some are going to lean more yellow. But then I'm going to clean the palette off because I can only do 2 rows of colors at a time, and we're going to start the next row, which is Prussian Blue. This one is a very vibrant green. And I believe the Azo Yellow and the Orlean Hue look very similar, so I feel like the colors are also going to be very similar with the mixes. But the Nickel Tungsten Yellow I find is really unique. It looks almost milky, like it would have a white pigment in it, but it is not. It is a single pigment, and that pigment is PY189. It is also medium granulating, so as you can see, greens, which are just very lovely. It's going to create very nice mixes throughout this video. Now we are on Phthalo Turquoise. And then the last row of blue is Ocean Blue. This is a granulating color. It is PBR24 and PB15:3, which is interesting because it granulates green. So here are all the green swatches that are completely dry. So next we're moving on to the blue mixes with the reds. So these will be our purples. And again, we're starting with the Ultramarine, but the reds along the top are Azo Red, Raspberry Red, Quinacridone Warm Scarlet, and the last column is Magenta. So I found that mixing these purples was somewhat difficult because both the blue and the reds were quite strong. So you'll see me often add too much of one, and then I have to go back through and add more of the other. So I do try my best to get purples, but again, some are going to lean a little more reddish pink and others are going to lean more blue. Next, we're doing the Indanthrone Blue. So this one right here I think is leaning a little too much pink, but I either didn't notice it or I just moved on. The magenta column is going to give the brightest purples. That is pigment PR 122. Because it's a very cool leaning pink, it is going to give you the most vibrant purples when mixed with the blues, whereas the first three reds are more warm leaning, and that's why some of the purples can be dull or grayish. We're doing a phthalo blue green shade. So what I can tell from doing this purple mixing chart is that I do need at least another cool leaning pinkish red, because I have quite a few warm reds and not a lot of vibrant purples, which you get from the cool reds. So I think I'm going to be looking at purchasing another one. Next, we're doing the phthalo turquoise row. And you can see my palette is already starting to stain quite a bit from doing this. But I think this is a really important exercise for you to not only practice color theory, but really get to learn the capabilities of your palette and your watercolors. And then the last row is that ocean blue, and again that ocean blue has what looks like granulates green, therefore green is the opposite of red, so you're going to get more of these grayish purples, which are actually really great for like shadows. It's something that you could use instead of black or even Payne's gray. And then here are the finished purple mixes. So we're on our last mixing chart, which is our reds and our yellows. We're starting with our azo red row mixed with azo yellow. Next is the Orlean hue, and then that nickel tungsten yellow on this page is going to give you some really creamy peachy colors that are just so yummy. I absolutely love this nickel tungsten yellow. I am so glad I purchased it. We're starting our second row, which is our raspberry red. After doing this orange mixing chart, I realized, which I also talked about in my previous Roman Szmal video, was that I believe I need another warm yellow. I think I'm going to swap out either the azo yellow or the Orlean hue and get something maybe like Hansa yellow medium or maybe like a gamboge color, just to switch up the variety of colors that I can achieve. Our third row is going to be quinacridone warm scarlet. This is one of my favorites of the reds that I purchased. It gives this lovely like peony pinkish soft flower color that is just great. That mixed with the nickel tungsten yellow again creates this just beautiful peachy color. Quin Gold is quite a strong color because I feel like it dominated all the reds and really just shined through all of them, so it was hard to get a decent mix with that color. And then the last row we have is that magenta, which is already very vibrant, so it is definitely producing vibrant oranges. And here are the orange mixes. So that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to hit like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!